Our healthcare problem is high pharmaceutical prices. The healthcare agency or organization that we are covering is the Food and Drug Administration, and the key leader here is Janet Woodcock, MD. Pharmaceutical prices in the United States have steadily increased over the past decade, a trend which is expected to continue according to the Peter G. Peterson Foundation. Per capita spending on prescription drugs in the United States is over $1,000 per year, as compared to an average of about $600 per year in other developed nations. In terms of how this affects people's everyday lives, the impact is obvious. So many people need prescription drugs to maintain their health and quality of life, and pharmaceutical costs being so high is one example of access to healthcare not being afforded to everyone. People are left having to choose between their medication and other necessities. High drug prices are the result of the United States granting government-protected monopolies to drug manufacturers. When that gets combined with coverage requirements being imposed on government-funded drug benefits, those drug prices remain high. The other big reason for high drug costs in the United States is the lack of a competitive market for generics. For example, back in 2015, there was outrage over Turing Pharmaceuticals acquiring an antiviral medication and immediately increasing the price from $13.50 per pill to $750 per pill. What is worth noting there, in addition to the massive price gouge, is the fact that the same drug in India was selling for 5 to 10 cents at the same point in time. This can happen in the US because there is not a vigorous market for generics, while somewhere like India has many suppliers making generics of the same drug, which keeps things more competitive. The reason for that lack of a market is how time-consuming and costly it is to prove to the FDA that a formulated generic is equivalent to that of a brand-name drug. This process is called ANDA, or Abbreviated New Drug Application.
Our agency. What is the FDA and what do they do? The FDA is the Food and Drug Administration, which regulates products to ensure the public safety. Products regulated by the FDA are food, drugs, medical devices, radiation-emitting products, vaccines, blood, biologics, animal and veterinary, cosmetics, and tobacco products. The FDA mission statement. The Food and Drug Administration is responsible for protecting the public health by ensuring the safety, efficacy, and security of human and veterinary drugs, biological products, and medical devices, and by ensuring the safety of our nation's food supply, cosmetics, and products that emit radiation. Our background. In 1927, Congress authorized the formation of the Food, Drug, and Insecticide Administration from the regulatory wing of the Bureau of Chemistry. The name of the agency was shortened to the Food and Drug Administration in 1930. In 1953, the FDA joined the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare after Congress established that department to assume certain functions. Over the following decades, numerous amendments and other acts broadened FDA's responsibilities considerably. These include, but are not limited to, a mandate for agency testing of insulin and antibiotics, regulation of chemical pesticides, and food and color additives, and more. Today, as in the past, the FDA strives above all else to safeguard the health and well-being of the American people.
The leader is Dr. Janet Woodcock. Dr. Woodcock is the director of the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research at the Food and Drug Administration. According to the FDA, the Center for Drug Evaluation ensures that available drugs are safe and effective and made to improve the health of people in the United States. Dr. Woodcock's duties include evaluating prescriptions and over-the-counter drugs before being marketed, oversees prescription drug testing and clinical trials, issues healthcare professionals and patients the information to use the drug safely and effectively, ensures drugs, both brand name and generic, work properly, and the health benefits outweigh the known risks of drug use. Furthermore, it also takes legal action against unapproved, contaminated, or fraudulent drugs that are marketed illegally. With this being said, Dr. Woodcock oversees all drug marketing before being sold to consumers. One of the most important leadership skills that we have seen throughout this course is communication, as it enables the team to move forward. In order to ensure that all products are safe for consumers and marketed properly, Dr. Woodcock holds open communication with those performing the clinical trials, as well as provides information for healthcare professionals and patients. Dr. Woodcock further shows characteristics of ethical behavior. She ensures that all drugs are safe, not contaminated, or fraudulent. If so, she takes legal action to ensure these types of drugs are not released or marketed. Dr. Woodcock has been noted to lead many of FDA's drug initiatives, which shows commitment. According to the FDA, Dr. Woodcock has introduced the concept of risk management in 2000 as a new approach to drug safety. Since 2002, she has led the Pharmaceutical Quality for the 21st Century Initiative, FDA's highly successful effort to modernize drug manufacturing and its regulation. In 2004, she introduced FDA's Critical Path Initiative, which is designed to move medical discoveries from the laboratory to consumers more efficiently.
Negative traits Dr. Janet Woodcock has as a leader are making cynical comments, making excessive demands on the employees under her, making too many changes within her department all at once, and she's not always open to learning from outside organizations. She's in a great position to negotiate lower medication costs with pharmaceutical companies. For example, Australia has the Pharmaceutical Board Advisory Committee. This committee reviews new medications for safety and effectiveness. Then the committee compares the new medication to current medication already being used to determine the new medication's added value. With this information, the committee then negotiates a fair price with the pharmaceutical company. As the head of the Center Drug Evaluation and Research Department at the FDA, Dr. Woodcock must already review safety and effectiveness of new medications. She just needs to take the initiative to go one step further and determine the added value of the new medication compared to current medications being used. With this information, she could then negotiate reasonable prices with pharmaceutical companies that U.S. citizens can afford. Things Dr. Janet Woodcock can do to improve her leadership skills are: make sure she has an enjoyable outlet. This will reduce her stress and should result in her being less cynical and more reasonable with the demands she places on her employees. She can also learn to be a change maker. This will help her become more proactive and open to learning from others, thinking outside of what her current duties are and to how she can improve the costly pharmaceutical issues in the U.S.